5, 10 years ago, this movie would have done numbers. People wouldn't be able to stop talking about the crawling scene. But now, when we talk about the crawling scene, it's immediately like, it looks like Backrooms. Hello and welcome to X-Rated Films. I'm Jasmine.
I'm Jason.
And this is
Chelsea.
Whee!
Chelsea.
So, tell us about Chelsea.
Chelsea is our Insidious expert.
Yes.
Because I have never seen an Insidious movie.
Yep.
Well, that makes Jasmine like a super expert.
No, definitely not, because I have watched them all exactly once. Except the first one, at least 6 or 7 times.
Yeah.
But Chelsea just had an Insidious journey.
I did, so it's fresh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All 6 movies in
So you
24 hours.
Absolutely an expert. In that sense.
Yeah, so I watched them all, in about a day and a half.
Wow.
All right, let's quiz her real quick. What's
No,
Patrick Wilson's character's name?
No. Dalton. I knew that.
Lambert. Last name, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
There we
okay.
go.
All right.
That's the Lambert family that's constantly...
Quiz passed.
So, Jason,
That's me.
tell us about this movie.
Okay, so we are at the 6th movie out of the further.
Yes.
We followed Gemma. She experienced.
Naomi Watts wannabe.
Dude, I really thought for a
Okay.
second I was confused and I
Not
was
in a
like,
bad
"Is that
way.
Naomi Watts? Did they de-age her?"
Yeah.
Not Naomi Watts. So she had a traumatic experience with her mom when she was younger, and now she's living in the same house for some reason as an adult with her
Right.
daughter.
Thinks there's nothing wrong with that whatsoever, and
thinks
she
that-
doesn't need therapy at all.
And she starts to have the same trouble, which has to do with the further, which is, as I hear, an Insidious thing. And we have a movie, a mother-daughter kind of horror movie, in a haunted house.
Yes.
Nailed it.
Nailed it.
Perfect.
So, what did you overall think of this movie? Would you say it was a good movie or a bad movie?
Listen, it's not my kind of horror. It's not what keeps me up at night.
Mm-hmm.
But I think for where it exists, the genre that it is, it was fine.
Okay. Not bad.
Because, yeah.
It was fine. And you?
That's fair. To be honest, if we're judging it for what they're going for, I personally think it's great. But it does the 20, like you were saying, the 2010s horror thing, the haunted house. It's about a family. We've seen this, and this was a whole era of horror movies. You had Sinister, you had Conjuring, you had more examples. And I think if we're looping it into that era, yeah, this movie's really good.
Mm-hmm.
But if we're looping it into the time it came out in 2026, this is a whack ass movie.
Yeah, and this is my hot take, is that even though it is just more of a classic haunted house ghost story, there is a way to still make those movies relevant and good now,
Agreed.
i.e. Hokum,
Great example.
versus this, which it almost feels like it doesn't exist. I know 5, 10 years ago, this movie would have done numbers. People wouldn't be able to stop talking about the crawling scene. But now, when we talk about the crawling scene, it's immediately like, it looks like Backrooms.
That's what everyone is saying, and
Yeah.
that's what Shelsea literally said during that scene.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about the cushion fort, which is in the trailer. Oh, by the way, this is full spoilers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Full
Full
spoilers.
spoilers. Right away I was like, oh, this gives a backroom kind of vibe.
Yeah.
Yes, 100%.
But it is also the scariest scene in the movie.
Yeah, which says something.
Somewhat.
Which says something.
I also think it was low key the funniest, but
Yeah, it's kind of funny.
I mean, just watching these 3. We'll get into it, but I think also you brought up something I want to bring up real quick about how much money it would make, and it's interesting because this would have been a box office juggernaut back in the day, and now we have Sinners, which is making $300-400 million. We have Obsession that made $500 million.
Yeah.
I don't think this movie's going to be anywhere close to that kind of stuff anymore.
Correct. I agree with that. But before we get too deep into the bad, let's talk about some of the good things.
Yeah.
What are some good things about this movie, guys?
Chelsea
what do we
first.
think? Yeah.
Ooh, okay. Good things.
I will say some of the jump scares are very effective.
Yeah, they do a good job at jump scares. After watching all of those films back to back, jump scares, they work in this film. I think I think they do a good job of keeping it creative when it comes to, like I said, the ghouls and the ghosts. Like, they all need to have their own looks, their own timelines, their own time periods. So I think they do a good job with makeup and costume. What else?
That's it.
I might pause there.
Yeah. And the story, how did you feel about the way they connected, like the mother and the daughter? Because for me, like, it worked kind of. It felt like there's a few missing pieces there in order for me to actually get that catharsis of like, okay, yes, it runs in the family. But my main issue with this movie, which I'll get into, has to do with something like that. But basically, I think it's not a bad premise. It's just poorly executed.
Yeah. I think this film, if we strip it down to just what it's about, if it had a better script, if it had some more of that drama, that aside from the horror, because it has its, it has its jump scares and it has its scary moments, but the story didn't draw me in. It didn't keep me there. And I think it's very convenient that no father exists in the because in the other Insidious movies, spoilers, like, you find out that the fathers also carry certain deep mental sometimes issues. Neither families in this movie had a dad, so it's kind of convenient. I feel like we missed a lot of details that could have been added to kind of anchor us into the story, so we stay for a story and then we're still spooked.
I agree.
You know what this really did? Have you guys seen the movie Lights Out?
No.
So this was also in the haunted house era. This was that movie where if you turn the lights off, the demon appears. If you turn it on, it's gone.
Oh,
it was a very good horror movie, but it did a very similar thing where they had no explanation for why there was no father, and then they had I don't think he was a cop, but they had like the stereotypical boyfriend who is like kind of useful sometimes but not useful other times. And this just feeds right into what I was saying before about like, this is just stuck in an era. Like, this is like this is just like, we require a lot more out of these movies now, but this is just stuck in this era of just the tropes constantly.
And I feel like it's bogged down by that because they do have like half a decent story here, but they're so focused on getting to the next scare sequence that they don't just like let us sit with the emotion, because this franchise isn't necessarily like that. And you can have a franchise, like a horror franchise, that is classic horror. Look at like Evil Dead. I do think Evil Dead Burn was like the way to keep doing it right, where like there's still like the mild, deeper themes, but it's not elevated horror. I don't know. I wanted more out of this movie. I know we're trying to talk about good. We're
still on the good. Technically, we're still on the good.
Pretty cool performances. World building, obviously.
That's one of my favorite things about this, the lore. Like, well, I think I can just kind of stick to the good right now, because I had to have Shelsea kind of explain to me like what the lore of this whole franchise is. But I personally felt like, even if she didn't explain it to me earlier, I did get it. And sometimes it was because it was a little too obvious, but other times I was like, no, this is actually pretty interesting. And honestly, there are things that they do. I don't know if we want to rush to this, but like, there are things they do in the third act that you're either going to think is ridiculous or you're going to go with. And for me, I went with, because they really did. We're in full spoilers, so I don't know why I'm like being vague, but they full on have these demons come into the real world.
Yes.
And it's insane.
Yeah.
And you brought up Evil Dead. Yeah. And that is honestly when I got some Evil Dead vibes, especially with something else that I'm sure you're going to want to talk about, which is some of the body horror in this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will say one good thing is this had some gnarly body horror.
Randomly.
Gnarly, like gross. But you know what? That is also on trend for 2026. So that's like another, I guess, let me not say it's a negative, but I mean, we're on trend for 2026 by adding more body horror and keeping it still a little different. This was dentist related, which I think is like an easy way to get into it. But
everyone hates the dentist.
Yeah, and it's especially gross.
I like figured out what I hate more than eyes.
A drill to the teeth.
Yeah.
Teeth.
Teeth. But I do like the commitment to that. Wish the blood looked better. I don't
Yeah.
know. There's not enough blood for how like icky this movie is.
But I think you're totally right, and that's a good thing now. To add a good thing is we should appreciate that even though this franchise has been going on for many years, they're on trend.
yeah.
Body
They're
horror,
trying to
you're
be.
totally right. It is
Yeah.
on trend. Substance,
Yeah.
that genre of that's what makes it scary. Yeah, they did do a good job.
I mean,
Yeah.
they're so on trend that I know you brought up that the cushion scene looked like the back rooms, but there was literally the shot when
Yeah.
she's going through the cushions that I'm like, yo, this is the poster for back rooms.
Yeah.
Like, this isn't even like in the movie. This is literally like what the movie was promoted
Which
as.
you could see it from two sides. You could see it as like a total ripoff, or appreciate that they're keeping up with the times of
Yeah.
what people are now finding scary.
Well, I think it's all about execution. And I
Right.
think for that specific portion of the sequence, it was executed really well. And
Mhm.
I felt claustrophobic, and I was like, yeah. For the rest of the sequence, I thought it was silly as hell. But yeah.
I also want to say, I really did like the child actress. Her name
Yeah.
is Island, I believe you said. Yeah, she was good. She reminded me
She
of
was
like,
good.
yeah, she was like I want to say M. Night Shyamalan, but he does a lot of has a lot of good child acting performances.
Yeah.
Spielberg-esque level of like just a really like you care for this girl despite us not getting enough. She just has that kind of look and face and cadence to her. So
Oh, especially in the third act.
yeah,
I felt
she's
so bad for
Yeah.
her.
yeah.
We're gonna bring this up again, and I'm gonna talk about this scene more, but using her as that like conduit to the other
Yeah.
realm.
That was dark.
That
was
was,
very upsetting.
yeah, that
I like
she
the
did a
commitment
really
to
good
that.
job of showing you how just like spent
Yeah.
she is. It makes you feel really bad for her, and I think she did a really good job. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I also think the mom did a decent job.
Yeah, she's
Yes.
great.
Yeah, and to be honest, I really think everyone kind of did a good job. There's three particular performances I'll put in the bad that I was just like, holy shit, are you trying to make this a comedy? But for the most part, there is like really good performances in here.
I will also say, and this has like nothing to do with horror, but everything to do with movies nowadays, I appreciate that the mom's face moves.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh my god, yeah.
no filler, no Botox. I saw wrinkles. She looks like a stressed single mom. When she's tired, she's tired.
Yes.
You know, like it didn't need that much makeup. Like she could just be that. Physically, it was there in her face. Just doesn't even have to say anything. Like I love that. And that was something throughout the movie. Everybody looked like real people.
Yeah.
And I can appreciate that now.
I said that when we were doing Obsession. I don't know if I said it on camera because I didn't know if I might get in trouble, but I was saying that with Indy Navarrete. I thought that was one of the reasons she stood out is because her face is still fresh.
She's like 25, so yeah.
Yeah, well, I understand that, but Hollywood, you just, I don't know. But no, I 100% agree with you.
Let's
And
see
that's
what
like
she
a
looks like
deeper-
as Rogue.
Yeah, by then I'm not going to do it.
And that's a deeper conversation on its own.
Yeah.
But at least for this movie, it was nice to see just movement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Expression,
Mhm.
and it was really good.
Any other good we want to talk about before we dive into the bad? Because I know we have a lot to talk about with the bad.
Oh.
I'm gonna throw in one more good because I peeped this out earlier in the movie in the opening scene. I was like, I actually do think that they're gonna get me a little bit hooked on the emotional side of the movie, and I think they really did. I honestly think by the time that they tied in the opening scene with the whole plot of the movie in the third act, I actually thought that was done really well, and it wasn't enough, and it wasn't enough in the movie for me to be like, yeah, I was so invested in the movie because of this, but it did tie it in enough where I was like, okay, yeah, you had like more of an idea somewhere in this movie that could have made this a little bit better, and I think that was like one thing that really worked for me.
Okay.
So the bad.
Right.
I'm gonna start off with like just my biggest bad, and this is not just like horror movies, but so many movies are doing this in general. Ben Affleck and Matt Damon blew the whistle on this, but the amount of times something happens and we visually see it with our eyes, and 2 seconds later someone says exactly what happened. It happens about 12 times in this movie. I actually lost. There was a point when I was like, I'm gonna start counting, and then I was like, oh, we're okay. I'm gonna just stop counting because it's that bad. there is so like let your movie breathe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like trust your audience, and I think that's really where Insidious is stuck.
Mm-hmm.
Is not trusting their audience because
Mhm.
it's been proven now, especially with horror, especially with obsession, especially with backrooms, you can trust your audience. You don't have to give them the answers. You can trust them. Stop telling us everything that's going on because one, it's not scary.
Mm-hmm.
Two, you're ripping apart the mystery, making it even less scary. And three, we don't want or need that anymore. The reason media literacy is dead is because we keep explaining everything. Stop doing that.
Yeah,
Stop doing that.
you're
That
totally
my rant's over. Sorry.
No, I
Preach.
saw a video about that once, wherever, and ever since I heard that, I can't stop thinking about it. I think about it when I watch shows, movies, like that's what I was saying before when I said if they had a better script, because they don't need to spoon feed everything to you.
Mhm.
Like we're watching. And if
Yeah.
you're not watching, you're not watching.
Yeah.
And
There
I
was-
think it's also very like popular with horror movies in general. Like
Mhm.
they used to do that a lot. And then recently we've started trusting audiences more.
Well, because they changed the perspective.
Yeah.
It used to be like a random person is involved in this situation, and so but now horror movies trust you to give the perspective of someone who is directly involved. Like I'm gonna just continuously use Obsession as examples, but
We love
like
obsession.
Bear is the main character in the movie, and I feel like if that movie came out in 2010, the main character would be like, I don't know, Sarah. And like so someone would have to explain to her like what is happening.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the problem. And there was multiple times with remind me of the lady's name.
Elise?
Elise, yeah. There was multiple times in the one sequence where literally me and you exchanged words in the theater where I was like, she would say something would happen, then she would explain it, and I was just like, thank you.
Yeah.
She was literally there as like a
With a
narrator.
footnote.
Yeah.
Like the VH1 music videos, like this is
Literally.
what's happening.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Right.
I'm 100% on board with that one.
Yeah.
It's bad. So get into some more of the bads.
Yeah.
guys.
Well, I think another I mean, it's just filled with tropes, and I think one of them that was
Mhm.
just you get to the point where the tropes become so funny that I can't actually take the movie seriously at all. Right down to the cop boyfriend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hate
I
when
was
that
just
happens.
like-
Name Mendoza. They're always named
Oh,
Mendoza,
yes.
like you said.
I was literally like, I can beat for beat
Garcia.
tell you,
Yeah.
yeah. I could beat for beat tell you exactly what was gonna happen to this character.
Yeah.
I'm like, he's gonna be useful, then he's not, then he's going to get
Mhm.
knocked out, then he's gonna come back and sort of save the day, and it's like you could just tell everything that's happening to the point where it is just hilarious.
And you know what's worse because there's always the boyfriend goes one or two ways. This was honestly the first time I saw it this way, but the first way that I see all the time is the boyfriend does not believe you, gaslights you, says
Yeah.
you're crazy,
Well, I think they cut that part out of the movie.
right? And then this one, the guy was just like, "You're being haunted? Yeah, I believe you.
Yeah.
What do you need me to do? Break into this house?
Got you.
Yeah.
Kill these 3 people?
Well, he also like immediately sees it too, which I think helps. 'Cause then-
Taser?
Yeah. He's like,
What?
I think you need therapy. Interesting to have the girl and not the man needing therapy.
Mm-hmm.
And then he immediately sees the thing because he already believes. And I'm like, okay, cool. We're gonna skip past that. Cool, fine with that. That's the kind of man we want and need, but also
Yeah, right. At first it was like refreshing, but it's also like you're not gonna ask any questions.
Yeah.
You're just gonna break into a home and lie about a wellness check.
It's almost like an argument for why the trope actually works.
Yeah.
Because you're like, they're like, okay, we're gonna skip that part where he's questioning her, and we're gonna do something new, and then it happens, and you're like, all right, that was fresh, but actually, I don't actually think I want that because
Yeah.
that makes no fucking sense.
You gaslight her.
he needs to question her just a little bit
And,
before
Comes
you
back
know.
to the script part.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
create conflict.
Mhm.
Let's stress her out more.
Yeah, she needs
Yes.
to struggle.
Yeah.
She's not struggling enough.
Yeah.
Every time she starts to struggle, someone's like, I'm here to help.
Yeah.
That is
Even
that
her
is
daughter,
100%
like,
true.
She didn't even care that her mom was like falling apart. She did, but it was like
It was one moment.
leaving her alone and then
Yeah.
like, get out of here. Okay.
Yeah.
You know, yeah. Struggle more.
They breezed by that. It was something that they clearly
Mhm.
set up from the beginning, and then it was just that one moment in the bed where she was like, "Get away from me!" And
Yeah.
it was like, and then also, which doesn't even make sense because then when you find out why the mom said the same thing in the beginning, it was for a completely different reason.
Mhm.
It was because she was explaining it to
That was
an
good.
entity that wasn't there.
Yeah.
But this mom was just doing it because she was just like, I don't know, just get away from me. I'm angry. I got a migraine or something.
Yeah.
But I think the I want to talk about the other bad real quick. I want to bring up these three characters. The acolytes.
Right.
So they were introduced and the first moment that we saw them, I busted out into laughter.
Mm-hmm.
And I genuinely cannot tell whether it was meant to be funny or not.
Mm-hmm.
But the first time we see these acolytes, they are all just on the street, like.
I saw them and right away I turned to Jason and I said, these are ghosts.
Yeah.
Because no way everyone sees them.
Yeah.
And then I found out everyone sees them. I was like, wait.
Yeah.
Are we dead ass right now?
They're actual people.
Yeah.
But
And it would not stop. The silliness would not stop.
Yeah, that was a little
you know what I
crazy.
will say, for a movie that explains so much of its like world building and its lore, like I don't understand how they worked.
I mean they.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you're gonna commit to explaining every little thing about your horror world, but then leave out a part of it, I'm gonna notice.
And you know what? Now that you say this, because of how this Insidious universe works, I bet you we're gonna get a prequel all about the cult.
Yep.
About the acolytes. Yep.
Yes.
100%.
And it'll be called Insidious: The Acolytes.
Yep.
Maybe, yeah.
100%, which they shouldn't do because Star Wars used that name and that is like the most unliked Star Wars property ever. But
Well, maybe they'll have a deal with Disney and be like, listen, when people start Googling the Acolytes, it'll be about us.
yeah, why don't you just sit up so you don't have to keep like
No, it's
thrashing
nice.
your
It's
whole
nice.
body?
It's nice. I'm good. I'm cozy.
If this is just for me, then should
Yeah,
I-
that's
You're
just
good.
me.
That's
Okay.
just for you. Yeah.
I just don't want to be this close to you. No, I'm just kidding.
But no, they were so silly, and one of the things I wanted to bring up was we keep talking about the cushion fort scene,
Mhm.
and that scene could have been scary. Like in the trailer, I actually
Mhm.
thought it did look kind of creepy, but oh my god, when it was played in execution in the movie, the way that these things were moving, they literally were moving around the thing going.
Not scary enough.
I was cracking up. I was like, are you fucking kidding me?
I did think that it was new because Insidious always does a very jump scare. It was new for that one man to just like stay there. Steady.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I didn't like that. After a few seconds, it was like, at first it was like, oh, very unsettling. But then we kept going back to him and I was like, now I'm used to it.
Right.
Yeah.
What's next?
Yeah.
I think it could have been scarier.
100%. Yeah. It was like just awkward. And then that like giggling that was like a thing for the characters. That's why I'm like, I can't honestly tell if it was supposed to be funny or not, because it wound up being a whole like thing with these characters where they would just, except for the man, like the two girls, every time they were on screen, it was just like a and I'm just like, what? It sounds like you're tickling someone.
I honestly, thinking about this again, talking about it, like I really actually like the cult aspect of it.
Mm-hmm.
As someone who loves true crime and horror, mixing it with both, something scarier about things that actually do happen. Cults do happen.
Yeah.
Documentaries on cults are really creepy, and they could have worked on it a little more.
Yeah.
Maybe, but like again, well, maybe we'll see it in number 7.
I like that. Any other bad we want to bring up before we move on to our
Any-
moments?
No, I'm ready for the moments.
Are we
I think we
ready?
pretty much covered
Yeah,
it.
we might as well.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. Grossest.
Oh my god.
So I'm gonna say mine because I'm pretty sure yours is the same. Because we haven't shared, but you guys know each other's,
Yeah,
right?
uh-huh.
I know
so
Jason's. Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, it was straight up the opening when they're digging the stuff out from behind the braces. That was foul.
Yeah,
Oh,
that.
that's not mine.
It was gross because I had braces.
Really?
Same.
Yeah, I had braces.
Oh yeah. You got like a thing.
I have a permanent retainer
Yeah.
because I was part of that generation.
Oh no.
Yeah.
You still feel it?
Mhm.
No, it's just in my bottom teeth.
Oh.
It's not a big deal. It's fine. Anyways, what's yours?
Can we talk more? But no. No, mine is a dentist sequence, but it's the other one with the older guy.
Mhm.
Because holy Jesus, when she was pulling the hair out of his
Mhm.
teeth, I couldn't watch.
Mhm.
I was literally disgusted, and then the sound effects
Stop.
was horrifying.
Mhm.
And then when the tooth cracked, I literally was like, done.
Mhm.
Like, I'm done. I'm like, Chelsea, you tell me when it's over.
Since I knew Jason was going to talk about the teeth, which is like 100%. I agree. I want to try and bring something else.
Oh.
And I mentioned this before, but when they use Maya as like this conduit to the other world, the idea of like using a child in any way, kind of gross. Especially like is this adult man is using literally all of her to bring back all these people for his like awful plot. Like it was kind of gross because, you know, I won't get too into it, but let's not use children.
All right, let's go to emotional. Let's just hard turn left here. Emotional for me was the girl when she's like holding her mom. It's very sad at the very end, and she thinks she's dead, even though we know she's not. It was still sad just because the girl is so good.
She's a great actress. Yeah.
I had one coming into it, but then you guys reminded me of one, and I was like, this is actually super effective because we mentioned before they're in the same house, and at one of the opening shots of the movie is the mailbox, and it's a handprint of both Gemma and her mom. And then I thought it was stupid that they were in the same house throughout the whole movie, but it had such a good emotional payoff because then when they do a time jump, then it's the handprint of Gemma and now her daughter. But the end of the movie, now that we have like solved the whole issue with the mom and that she wasn't actually bad and she was possessed and now everything has been like solved and complete, the mailbox is chipped and now you get to see all three of their handprints. I thought that was honestly like if we're talking about like genuinely really good writing and motifs in this movie, that is one of them.
Mine, that beginning sequence for others might be, this is a terrible mom. She's strung out, like Officer Mendoza said. But for me, right away, I was just thinking the mom is haunted. She's going through something, mental illness, something. So that entire sequence to me was so sad because I know the child in the sequence, Gemma, she must be feeling like her mom doesn't love her, confused feelings, while the mom is just like struggling to stay alive, literally. So that was a very emotional thing because it's how can you make a child understand what an adult is going through? So that was the emotional part for me.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Did you say yours?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you did.
Intense.
Oh.
The little back rooms scene. I know it's partially funny, but I'm gonna stick with intense for that because there are moments, like you said, when they have the cushions around her face and everything, where you're like, oh, this is an endless maze.
It's like very claustrophobic.
Yeah, it's harkening back to like The Shining when they can't get out of the maze. Not to like compare this movie to The Shining at all.
That's ambitious,
but I'm
right
just
there.
saying like that kind of like feeling of claustrophobia and like there's no way out.
You feel it. If you feel it, it's comparable.
It's quiet. They are very, very particular with the sound in that scene, and it's very intense. Like that's when I was like,
yeah. I mean, if we're judging the trailer, that's my most intense scene. But since we're doing the movie as a whole, I think the opening scene was honestly pretty intense, and it was a weird introduction because I'm going into this movie thinking, all right, Insidious is trash, but then I watched the opening scene and I'm like, oh, it's not, because you get to see the perspective of a young girl watching her mom like kind of lose her mind. And it honestly reminded me of Weapons a little bit, the way that we see in the third act. I forget the little kid's name, but watching his parents completely just gone, and the trauma of seeing that. Sad. And they don't play any of it. None of it comes off funny like the rest of the movie sometimes does. It's kind of traumatizing, and I was really like hoping that it would end okay. It didn't, but it was it was intense.
I honestly, there was a couple intense scenes for me, but I'm gonna go with oh my god, I lost my train of thought, guys.
You got this.
Oh, when we figure out that it's hereditary, and out of nowhere the plot kind of shifts to, oh, the little girl's in trouble.
Oh, yeah.
That's when, you know, there's a lot of intense scenes, but that's when I was like clutching my seat and I was like, oh, shoot.
Yeah.
Like now there's another aspect of this very elaborate plan that they did not think of. So that to me was when I was kind of like in it, locked in. So that was pretty intense.
I like that you specifically said hereditary. I was thinking of that.
Yeah.
What are we at? Funniest moment.
Yep.
Oh, this is the one I was most hyped to talk
Go
about.
ahead.
I was cracking up at this scene. Again, I don't know if this was supposed to be funny. I don't know if it was supposed to be scary. I'm just going based on what made me laugh the most. The little girl is in the closet clutching the dog. And then we were super confused because then all of a sudden the dog is on the other side of the door and we're like, what? How'd that happen? And then she looks down and the demon is in her lap going, "Ruff, ruff, ruff."
Yeah.
I thought that shit was so
That's my
funny.
answer to another one.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Go ahead.
I loved that.
That was honestly my funniest is basically anything with that demon I thought was low-key funny. Like I didn't
The
really
main-
think
Oh, the
I
collator?
didn't really think he was scary.
Yeah,
I thought he was like kind of just like any like lead singer of an indie band.
like an almost like an Ozzy Osbourne.
Yeah, I was thinking of that.
Yeah,
so I was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
it was kind of funny, like, but that's just my dark sense of humor.
Yeah, no,
What
I
did you
agree.
think was
Didn't he
funny?
eat a rat too?
Yeah, it
Or
was
was that
like
a
funny.
different,
No, that
it
was
a
a
different one.
Was it that
different one. Honestly, after watching all of those movies back to back and like the timeline's so skewed, anytime Elise shows up again in these movies, I'm like, what are you doing here? Like, it's so nice, and like that's like the fun part, but to me, it's like the funny part because it's like, where is she? Because I know she's coming,
Right.
and that's what I was telling Jason. I was like, it's important to know the timeline because she's either dead or alive,
Uh-huh.
so she's either showing up as a ghost or as a ghost hunter.
Yeah.
So,
But she is showing up either way.
no matter what,
She's getting that check.
of course,
She's collecting.
But it's also funny because the music swells when she appears. And like
and
you
know
had prepped me.
And it's funny because it's supposed to be that moment where everyone like sits up in the theater and claps.
Yeah, and then when it's
yes.
silent, it's so much funnier because
Yeah.
you're like, ooh.
What are you doing here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And on that note, we gotta talk about our ratings because we did not
Oh
talk
my
about
god.
our
And
ratings.
I'm usually the one
Okay.
to fix that problem.
2 one night stand.
Bum, bum, bum.
As in, I watched this once and I will not be rewatching it again.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not necessarily offended by it, so I don't say fuck off. But I'm not even thinking about it once
Mhm.
I've left the theater.
That rating had just as much
This is
exposition
tough.
as the movie.
Yep.
This is tough because I agree with you. However, again, I feel like there's people out there who live for this Insidious franchise.
Yeah, no, this is for you only, though.
Who, for me, it's a 2.
Ugh.
For those people, I would imagine it's at least a 3.
Yeah.
Okay. See, for me, like, yeah, no.
Well, I was just gonna say because they're gonna watch the 7th one,
Yeah.
Paul, yeah.
which is why it's like technically you're keeping it casual because it's not a one. I know it's a one night stand for that individual movie,
Mm-hmm.
but if you're gonna watch the 7th one, sometimes you have to rewatch the 6th one to just see where you left off.
Yeah.
So to me, yeah, now that I've watched it thoroughly, it's a 2, but for other people, it's probably a 3.
That's a good point. See, for me, if I have fun with a movie, I just immediately want to say make it official because I'm like, I had
That's
fun
generous.
and that's what, but at the same time, like, I don't want to see this movie or any movie like it again. So I'm like, I don't care that I had, this is a rare instance where I don't care that I had fun. I'm going to keep it at a super low, keep it casual because I will never pop up at this movie again. But I also can't ignore the fact that while watching it, I was like giggling a lot.
So you're a 3.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Okay.
All right. Now.
The fun
We
parts.
have 2 fun parts.
Okay.
1, what tattoo are you getting for this movie?
Okay.
And the last one is a movie matchmaker. If you like this movie, you'll love this movie. So I'm going to start with my tattoo. The tattoo I'm getting for this movie is just Patrick Wilson, Little Red Door. Because this movie was severely lacking Patrick Wilson. I do think he is the thing that kind of keeps me coming back. And this was like, they know that. So they had to put him in it for a second.
Montclair represent.
Yeah, but that was
My
it.
close personal friend, Patrick.
Patrick Wilson.
Oh,
exactly.
she has a story, by the way. We have to include after movie matchmaker
yes.
real quick.
So go ahead.
Oh, my tattoo, I'm going to get a grapefruit with the tattoo
That's cool.
of a grapefruit.
Nice.
Okay.
Lame.
A grapefruit within a grapefruit.
Okay, and you've never had a paloma?
I have had a Paloma.
Oh.
I went to Italy.
That's
Right. So my tattoo, I only have 2 tattoos, and I like to keep it like basic, girly, simple. So the most simple I can think of is a tooth,
Oh, nice. I like that.
like the outline of a tooth.
Oh,
That's a good
no.
one.
Mhm.
And then for movie matchmaker,
Oh, this
do
is
we
my
have-
favorite movie matchmaker.
This one's hard because I
Yes.
could think of a few.
Oh, I had one instantly.
Whoa. Okay.
I'll go first.
Yeah.
Instantly, especially with the third act, I was like, this is obviously inspired by this. Not Nightmare on Elm Street.
Okay.
Nightmare on Elm Street Dream Warriors. This is the
Hmm.
4th installment in the franchise.
Okay.
3rd or 4th? I'm gonna just confidently say the 4th, and if I'm wrong, we'll hear about it. But that one is specifically about
You're right.
a team of these dream warriors
You're
that
right.
are actively trying to grab things from the dream world and bring them back into their
You're
world so
right.
they could defeat
Inception.
it. Like Inception,
You're
yes,
right.
but not as obvious as Inception. That's the whole thing. See, like I always try when I do the movie Matchmaker, I
Mhm.
always try to make sure I'm picking something like slightly more obscure, at least for our generation.
Mhm.
But that's mine. Nightmare on Elm Street Dream Warriors. Best sequel of the franchise too.
I'm gonna do something new here. I'm gonna take a movie we reviewed before and use it as my matchmaker, because this movie was not loved in the way it should have been, and also it's a classic supernatural horror, but in a way where it still feels like it exists in 2026. Hokum.
Okay.
Yeah, Hokum was very good and not well loved, and again, it's a ghost story,
Mhm.
but it's how you can still do a ghost story in 2026 with some decent jump scares and still keep it fresh and new.
Can I just say real quick? I rewatched Hokum and I think it popped up into like maybe my top 5 of the year.
Wow.
It's very good.
It's incredible.
I
I
haven't
have
seen
to-
Tony yet, so
I also have not seen the end of Oak Street.
you'll be all right.
I have to admit, I haven't seen Hokum, but I really want to.
Mhm.
And now, after you bringing it up, I'm definitely going to. So, okay, this one was hard for me because I see where both of you got your answers from. What I thought of automatically was, what's another film where the dead and the living kind of like clash? And I went super classic, and all I could think of was The Sixth Sense.
Ooh.
That's a good one.
You know, like, because the little kid's seeing dead people, but he's not even really realizing it, just like the mom in the film. She's not really realizing that these people are dead at the same time. The little kid doesn't realize he has this power to see dead people.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know, you have that plot twist, which, spoiler alert, after like
For the
30,
Sixth Sense, yeah.
30
You don't know
years.
the plot twist?
You know,
Sorry.
like, Bruce Willis is dead the whole time. And yeah, sorry.
Crazy plot twist.
So like, I don't know. I think you get a little bit of that in a classic film,
Mm-hmm.
and it's really scary.
Yeah.
And it's still kind of gross. Like that one girl that throws up a lot.
Yeah.
Kind of gross.
A little gross, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good pick. I
That's
like
a
it.
good one. I really like that. So tell us your story.
Sure. So I actually met Patrick Wilson once. It was 2016. I was working at Dick's Sporting Goods. I was a cashier, and it was at the Willowbrook Dick's Sporting Goods, which I don't know if you guys know is like the hub of all
Mhm.
Dick's Sporting Goods apparently in New Jersey, because that place was so busy.
Yeah.
And like, this isn't the first or last celebrity I had. Granted, I didn't know the other ones were celebrities. I would just randomly see like security around certain people, and I just
And
didn't
you're
know.
like, oh shit, that's Tom Cruise.
So Patrick Wilson walks up to my register, and right away I know it's him, because this is 2017. I can't tell you which ones, but Conjuring has already come out. At least one, if not 2 or 3.
Yeah.
But I know this man. Plus Insidious, the first one, had definitely already come out. He comes up with a cap, and he's fine as hell. So like, no normal man looks like that, and he's like really tall, he's fit, and he's beautiful. So I'm like, this is, in my mind, I'm like, this is the guy from Conjuring. Embarrassingly enough, I don't know his name. And so he comes up to me, and I'm checking him out, literally. And I'm like, just like, in my mind, I'm like, I can't be the one that's like, are you that guy from,
Yeah.
I don't want to, that's disrespectful to me. It's like,
Mhm.
if you're going to acknowledge that a celebrity's in front of you, a person,
You should know who they are.
exactly.
Yeah,
You
I
should
agree.
say, are you Patrick Wilson? So I didn't know his name, and I was so embarrassed because my family loves Conjuring. So I was like, I should know his name, but because I don't, like, that's it. That's a fault on me. So I was just like checking him out and ringing him up, and out of nowhere, the cashier who's next to me, a guy, he's so funny. He comes up and puts his head like literally over my shoulder, just tells Patrick like, "Hey, dude, I don't mean to bother you, but like I'm a huge fan of what you do." And Patrick Wilson just like, he has his cap on. You can't even see his eyes. He looks up and he just gives him like a nod, and then he just like walks away. And then I was like, this is my time. So I was like, oh, I thought it was you, but I wasn't sure. I'm a big fan too. He does the checks out, leaves.
Damn.
So like I get it. Like I feel like he was worried it was gonna cause a scene, but with
Mhm.
Peace and Love, I don't think it was gonna cause a scene that much. But yeah, so that's how I met my close and personal friend.
Oh,
Wow, I love
Mhm.
that.
little Patty.
I'm in the Insidious universe.
Yeah,
That's-
no, you are. You
Yeah,
exist there now.
Mhm.
He went right to the director of the next Insidious movie, and he
Yeah.
was like, "I want a character based on that cashier."
There we
Right.
go.
Mhm.
Exactly.
And
it
then
worked.
Out of the Further came out.
That's
3 years
actually
later.
number 7.
Yeah.
What it's gonna
But
be
it's
about.
okay. They finally made it.
Mhm.
But anyways, on that note, that's the end of this podcast. Thank you so
Yay.
much for listening. Chelsea, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you
on.
for having me.
Thank
This
you
was
for
so
coming,
much
Chelsea.
fun.
Hey,
Thank
so
you.
glad
You
could-
are our second guest.
Yes. So glad
you.
you could give us some more insight on the Insidious universe. And
Thank you.
yeah, we'll for sure have to have you on again,
Ooh, my
especially when the
pleasure.
7th one comes out.
Insidious 7 or Conjuring
I
30.
only
Yeah.
come when Insidious comes.
No problem. Or the next Patrick Wilson movie.
Right.
Oh yes.
So
Mhm.
that's fine.
Yes.
Thank you so much for listening. I've been Jasmine.
I'm still Jason.
And
I'm still Chelsea.
if you liked what you heard here, make sure you subscribe, comment, like anything you can do, because we're getting back into this. As you can see, we've got some changes going on.
Mhm.
Lots more changes to come. Very excited about this.
New segments.
Yep. It's gonna be
Other
major.
things.
He's finally listening to me. So if you don't know, follow J Cinema Forever on TikTok and Instagram
and Letterboxd.
and Letterboxd. And Jason will link all of our stuff underneath.
Yeah, there it
But
is.
Thank you for listening. Have a good one. Bye.
Peace.